very strong race. But who is going to be our junior champion for 2025? Rivedossi, Roccati, Tassini, Graziani, Guglielmi, Pozzato, Langer, Jameson, Baker, Hartley, Jennings, Montescartia, Pediferi and Ceballos has moved aside for the rest of the field to go by. And so the drivers are now left to their own devices. They'll go down the tram lines, and for 14 laps of this Cartland Paris course, the longest race of the week, it is going to be a very tough mission for them all. Rivedossi to the inside, Roccati to the outside, and 12 drivers chasing behind them. We are ready under starters' orders as the tricolor drops and the junior final gets underway. Up to the first corner, no worries at all for Rivedossi to the inside line. A big charge forward from the man in second place, Enzo Roccati, trying to work his way forward, but into second position has come our man in P3. A fabulous start for Mirko Graziani as he gets to second position. So Mirko Graziani breaks through to second in front of Enzo Roccati, and there's already a shuffle as it looks to me as though Isaac Jameson has made up a couple of positions off the start. So he's already got himself towards the top 5. But is there a chance of a podium? It's going to be a very long race, that is for sure. But as the competitors work their way round on the far side, they will now drop underneath the bridge and return to the circuit up over the underpass. So out in front it is Rivedossi, then it is Graziani. And in third position is the hard-charging Enzo Roccati of Switzerland. So Enzo Roccati chasing after, and Rivedossi's already got a bit of pressure from Graziani. Rivedossi going a little bit defensive in the early stages of this one. So Rivedossi, Roccati. The number 9 in P4, that is Jack Baker. Jack Baker is in P4 on the very first lap of this race. What a start from the Englishman. So Jack Baker finds himself in the top 5, and it's a big run wide out of the far side of the course as Elijah Hartley is battling away with Andres Montescartia. The two of them went off on the first lap then. So Elijah Hartley is having to try and fight his way back towards the top 10, but he's got a very tough mission in front of him. But it's incredible, the top 4 are pulling clear, and it's Rivedossi, Graziani, Guglielmi in third position, and then Jack Baker. So we've got Leonardo Rivedossi and Mirko Graziani, the 2 previous race winners over this week, who have taken 2 victories for Rivedossi and 1 win for Graziani. Angela Guglielmi, the only female in the field, is running in third position, and she's battling away with the Englishman Jack Baker. And Jack Baker's through into third, so Baker's up to the podium now. Baker is really charging, he runs wide, and Angela Guglielmi is going to get back past him. So Angela Guglielmi gets onto the top 3 rostrum. Jack Baker's going to try and tuck back into the inside line to get back into position, but he's going to have a lot of pressure now as the number 7 closes in. That is Leon Langer of Germany. So for big pressure then from Enzo Roccati and Alessandro Tassini, they had a really difficult opening lap, and that has dropped them out of the top 5. So this has definitely opened things up in the final. But has Jack Baker got enough in the tank to get back on terms with Angela Guglielmi? He goes up the inside, and Baker's back in a third position. Angela Guglielmi has to concede, and Isaac Jameson's getting the run on Leon Langer as well. So Leon Langer, the German, may have to surrender here to Jameson. The inside line comes Isaac Jameson, and he's through. And he's not the only one who made it past as well. It looks like Zach Jennings went with him. So a fantastic run then as the British drivers, who have had a really tough week in the junior category, are now battling away for the top 5. The top 2 drivers have got well clear here. Oh, Jack Baker slams out sideways out the flyover, and that's going to drop him back to 5th position. So now it's Angela Guglielmi who is in 3rd place. Up into P4 comes Isaac Jameson. So Isaac Jameson is now running in P4. But it's the 2 Italians front, Leonardo Rivedossi and Mirko Graziani. And then it's Angela Guglielmi of Switzerland in front of Jack Baker of Great Britain. It is Isaac Jameson of Great Britain who's up into 4th place now ahead of Jack Baker. Then it is Langer, Jennings, Tassini, Roccati, Pozzato and Pediferi. And then we have Ceballos ahead of Elijah Hartley and Andres Montescartia. A little bit of a run wide there as the battle for the lower placings kicks off and up to the inside line. That's a mistake, unfortunately, for Leon Langer as Jennings and Tassigny are all over the back, and so too there Enzo Ricciardi trying to work his way forward. So now the duel continues between the two Italians up front, Leonardo Rivadossi and Marco Graziani, the only two drivers to have won a race so far this week. 2 heat wins for Rivadossi, 1 for Graziani, but both drivers want to win the final, so they are going to be absolutely at it through this race. Third position now is Angelo Glielmi. He's got a big cheer from Isaac Jamieson behind as the two Italians continue to push further forward. The chances of grabbing the victory have intensified as Isaac Jamieson and Jack Baker are right in behind Angelo Glielmi. Glielmi's trying to hold over third position, and Isaac Jamieson is going to storm through into third position, but Glielmi goes deep into the brakes in the chicane and retains the position. Now Jamieson wants Jack Baker to team up with him so that they can work together and both get. And Angelo Glielmi has got a bit of traction on them. Here comes the move from Graziani for the lead. He had to think about it there on the inside of Rivadossi and then bailed out of it. 4 laps done, 10 laps to go. It's going to be a very tough race from here on as the drivers still know how much pressure is on their shoulders. But for Rivadossi and Graziani, they are the 2 classes of the field here, and they are going to be difficult men to beat. As long as they don't take each other out, then these two are going to be dueling for the junior victory. But the battle is on for third place, even more intensity behind them, because we've got Angelo Glielmi and the 2 British drivers, Isaac Jamieson and Jack Baker. Meanwhile, Alessandro Tassigny is back into P6 and Enzo Ricciardi is back into P7. So they can't afford to be too aggressive. As round the outside, Jack Baker pulls off a stormer into third position past Jamieson. Angelo Glielmi puts her hand in the air. Come on guys, what are you playing at? And Glielmi now has to defend to cover from Alessandro Tassigny, who has to bail out of the overtake. So excellent racing in junior as Rivadossi and Graziani are still racing each other, and Jack Baker has got into third position. Jamieson in 4th, and Jamieson's got a penalty. Isaac Jamieson with a 5-second time penalty for causing contact. So a big disaster for Isaac Jamieson. So that'll drop him down the order now. Isaac Jamieson now finds himself in 10th position with that 5-second penalty. That is disastrous for the British driver. So Jack Baker is now in 3rd, Angelo Glielmi in 4th, and Alessandro Tassigny now in P5. Well, let's see what's going to continue on the far side of the course as the 2 Italians are still stretching a decent lead out front. Rivadossi versus Graziani, and they will still battle doggedly along the pit straights. Baker has got pressure now because that's Jamieson in front of him. Oh no, it's not. Baker's still in 3rd place. My apologies. Jamieson there in 4th position. But if Jamieson can get ahead of Jack Baker and then start to push, he might be able to get this 3rd position anyway. So it's going to be an interesting one. And now Jamieson up the inside of Jack Baker. He's got to try and commit to this move, and he's there. Isaac Jamieson moves into 3rd on the road as Angelo Glielmi now has a 5-second penalty for contact. So Angelo Glielmi has also got a 5-second penalty for contact. So that will drop her behind Isaac Jamieson. So now we've got Rivadossi versus Graziani, then it's Baker in 3rd, Tassigny in 4th, Jennings is 5th, Ricciardi in P6, and then it's the 2 penalty runners, Jamieson and Glielmi, in 7th and 8th place. But if Jamieson could pull clear of the chasing pack to the tune of 5 seconds, then he will still be able to claim his place on the podium. It's a big ask, but this is only lap 7 of 14, so he's got 8 laps including this one. He might be able to pull out 5 seconds. Well, here comes the battling duo up front. Very tough race for Rivadossi and Graziani as Enzo Ricciardi now has a 5-second penalty for contact. So Enzo Ricciardi picks up a 5-second penalty. Jack Baker twitches, and that almost drops him off the road as Graziani really puts pressure now on Rivadossi in the lead of the race. But these two are still stretching a long way out in front of the rest of the pack. And as long as Jack Baker is glued to the back bumper of Isaac Jamieson, that's going to be a podium for Jack Baker in fantastic fashion. He really has dug deep and delivered so far in this one, but can he finish the job? So the juniors have given us a really exciting battle so far. Rivadossi, Graziani, and then Baker, Tassigny, Jennings, Jameson and Glielmi. As Jameson is up to 6th place now, Glielmi is up to 7th, although they are ahead of that on the road. But they've got a 5-second penalty to carry. Enzo Ducati is trying to shake off his own 5-second penalty here. 3 drivers right up at the sharp end, all with potential to be on the podium, and all carrying a penalty, I should say. But what about the Italians up front? Graziani still pushing Rivadossi. He's not letting him get away. And so, Rivadossi versus Mirko Graziani. Graziani makes a slight error on the pit chicane, and that's enough to give Rivadossi the tiniest bit of breathing space. It's an absolute squabble further back as Jack Baker has now lost positions to both Jameson and Glielmi, and now loses out to Tassigny. So that's going to be Alessandro Tassigny to get into 3rd position ahead of Jack Baker, because both Jameson and Glielmi now have penalties. They've got to try and charge away from the chasing pack. And now that they've got into 3rd and 4th, they may have a chance to do so. So at the moment, Jennings is P5, Jameson is P6, and Angelo Glielmi is P7. But there's still a lot that could take place in this one. Alessandro Tassigny has now got up into 3rd position, having got ahead of Jack Baker. He's 5th on the road, but 3rd in the race, courtesy of the penalties for Jameson and Glielmi. But up in the front, it's no change. It's still Leonardo Rivadossi and Mirko Graziani, and they are absolutely squabbling with each other. Graziani's never been closer, as on lap 9, he's got a chance. He's side by side, and he's in the lead. Graziani moves in front of Rivadossi at the pit chicane. Now they go down to the hairpin, and Mirko Graziani has taken the lead for the first time in this final. He won a race yesterday, so he'll really want to take advantage of this, but Rivadossi's going to be pushing all the way. So Mirko Graziani takes the lead in the junior final with Rivadossi right in the mix with him. They're going to be side by side as they go down the pit straight. Who's going to be leading? It is Rivadossi. He gets back in front. So Rivadossi retakes the lead away from Mirko Graziani. And there's another penalty. This time it's for Zach Jennings. So Zach Jennings now has a 5-second penalty for contact. And that's going to put him down to 7th place. Make that 9th place now, because Leon Langer and Giovanni Pozzato have come across the line. So that now means that Baker is 4th, Jameson is 5th, and Glielmi is 6th. Oh, and a spin! That is Glielmi! No, my apologies, that's Enzo Ducati. Enzo Ducati spins around. So Enzo Ducati, the Swiss driver, who was already carrying a 5-second contact penalty, that has put him out of the competition for race victory. What a shame for Enzo Ducati. But now there's more battles as Rivadossi and Graziani return. They've already swapped the position once, and now Graziani is trying his best to put Rivadossi wide. Oh, big slide wide from Jameson. Jameson really piles it on as he comes through the far side. And now Baker and Tassigny are side by side. This is for what's eventually going to be 3rd place. And it is Tassigny that gets in front of Jack Baker for the moment. So Jack Baker riding behind Alessandro Tassigny. Could be a very interesting run, but is it going to be an all-Italian podium, or can Jack Baker break the jinx? Isaac Jameson is P5, Angelo Glielmi is P6, but they're both ahead of Jack Baker on the road. But they've got to try and pull 5 seconds on him. They've currently only pulled 2 seconds on them. So it's good, but it's not good enough, as it were. And there are still some great duels going on. So as Enzo Ducati rejoins the fray, and his 5-second penalty puts him all the way back to 12th position behind Matteo Pediferi and Elijah Hartley. There's only 4 laps to go for Rivadossi and Graziani. Here comes Graziani now, once again past the pits. They will charge through, down the hairpin. It's going to be a tight duel all the way. They both know it. And Graziani is all over the back of Leo Rivadossi. Rivadossi going well. Graziani in there with him. There's a great battle going on behind them as well, because Jameson still runs 3rd on the road, but needs to pull 5 seconds clear. As Tassigny bangs into the side of Glielmi. And Tassigny's going to go on the inside of Glielmi here, who fights back. There's a little bit of a concertina effect. And Jack Baker drives right round the outside. And Jack Baker storms back in a 3rd position, round the outside of the final bend. Beautiful from Baker. What an opportunist overtake from Jack Baker. He gets through masterfully there. But the more these three continue to squabble, and he's now down to the back of the trio again. Oh, side swipe, Baker and Guglielmi. Guglielmi's putting a hand in the air as Baker manages to put a nose in behind. Well, the more these three squabble away, the more likely it is that Isaac Jamieson is going 5 seconds clear. And here comes Graziani on the inside for the lead on Rivedossi, and he's there. Graziani retakes the lead. Fantastic from Mirko Graziani, but Rivedossi's going to come back at him. They're going to be side by side again. Down the hairpin to the pit straight. Rivedossi inside, Graziani will get back on the inside, and it's a drag race to the chicane, and Rivedossi will get first. This is such a tight junior final now. And still the battle rages for fourth on the road between Tassigny, Guglielmi and Jack Baker. Baker still fighting his corner here with Alessandro Tassigny. No penalties between these three, they're still going strong. Baker's on the inside line, and Baker will storm ahead of Tassigny down the pit straight once again. So Jack Baker will move into third position for the moment, and Guglielmi goes with him. That's great news for Baker, because Guglielmi can be a nice cushion between himself and Tassigny. But Guglielmi's going back on the inside for Baker. Baker breaks later, holds it round the outside, and retains third for the moment. Jamieson's got that 5-second penalty to carry, so the podium's not quite his yet. But we are on the penultimate lap, and it's Rivedossi versus Graziani. Mirko Graziani is running out of chances now to get on the inside of Leonardo Rivedossi. Are they going to come to blows? Graziani through the pit chicane, right in behind Rivedossi. They come down to the hairpin in front of the pits. And can Graziani make his move? Rivedossi's protecting the inside line. He's got to be right on the exit. Graziani can try and drive right around the outside, but he's not going to get there. Meanwhile, Baker slides wide of the pit turn. And here's a chance for Guglielmi. Side Baker's got to be careful on the brakes. As into the last lap, and Rivedossi's having to protect Graziani. Graziani dives in turn 2, and they're going to go side by side off the corner. Graziani and Rivedossi fighting for the victory. It's going to be Graziani. He gets through at turn 3. Mirko Graziani takes the lead on the last lap of the junior final. But can Rivedossi get him back? They're side by side again into the banking. And up the inside, Rivedossi back in front. Oh my goodness. The two Italian stallions are swapping positions on the final. It's going to come down to the wire. So as they go under the bridge for the final time, it's Rivedossi versus Graziani, and it's Leonardo leading. Mirko Graziani second. Let's see if Graziani can make one final push. Left hand up. Right-hander at the pit chicane, and down to the hairpin for the last time. It's all going to be down to Rivedossi's defensive tactics. Can Graziani outsmart him? Through the hairpin, he tries to go the long way round. Rivedossi's going to have to protect, but it looks like it's going to be Rivedossi. Graziani's got to try out of the final turn, and it's going to be a drag race, but it'll be Rivedossi. Leonardo Rivedossi is the junior champion. Second place for Graziani. Jamieson is going to cross the line in third. Guglielmi's going to get in front, but who's going to be third? It will be, I'm trying to see, it's Angela Guglielmi. Angela Guglielmi's going to get the third position. Absolutely fantastic for the Swiss ace. So she comes through for third position in front of Jack Baker and Alessandro Tassigny. The 3 penalties went the way of Isaac Jamieson, Zach Jennings and Enzo Raccati. And it is absolutely incredible. But Leonardo Rivedossi and Mirko Graziani come home first and second after an amazing contest. Absolutely astonishing. Really good run all the way. And so they come through for the victory in fantastic fashion. It is Leonardo Rivedossi who gets the win in front of Mirko Graziani and Angela Guglielmi of Switzerland. What an amazing performance. What a great race. And it was absolutely amazing. A truly sensational race drive from everybody all round. And look at that, handshakes all round from the competitors. Good to see. Sportsmanship is not dead in racing. as back into pit lane comes the trio. Leonardo Rivadossi is your junior champion in front of Mirko Graziani and Angela Guglielmi. What an amazing duel to the end as Guglielmi comes through for the podium. "27 kilometers of racing await us here on the Cartland Paris circuit, and the carts are now in their two tram line. The inside line held by Jacques Giraud and the outside line by Dennis Höller. This has all hallmarks of a true classic. The two tram lines see all the carts lining up in unison together, and all of the amazing amount of work, preparation, knowledge, wisdom, mediation, motivation, it's all come down to this, and it will be an absolutely fantastic season finale. And all of the drivers are now ready in position to make this race a victory. Giraud on the right, Höller on the left. As they see it, the tricolor is in the air and the TB Kart Final 2025 is underway. Giraud blasts away from the grid. Kevin Cabras is going to try and join him into the first corner. Dennis Höller trying his best to hold it round the far side. I think he's only going to lose one place here, as out in front it's an absolute dogfight for second place, but the lead is not changed. Jacques Giraud has got himself into a good lead, and he was telling me earlier he was terrified at just how much talent he's got behind him. And there's contact as they work their way through. Couple of carts going wide. But apart from that, it looks to me as though it's been a fairly decent start, and there's already a squabble for third position downwards. But we've got a leader, clear and simple. It is the Frenchman Jacques Giraud. Now, he told me after his medal earlier on that he is not comfortable about the amount of talent he's got behind him. He's not confident at all, so he's just going to go into this race and see what happens. And he's got such incredible waft of talent behind him. So Giraud is the leader. In second position, that is the 5. That is Chris Demetriou. Chris Demetriou of Cyprus is in second place. And in third, that is Salvatore Nito. So Salvatore Nito has come up into third position from P11 on the grid. What an incredible start. So many drivers trying to work their way forward as there's an absolute squabble of the decks. And coming into the pits to retire is Kevin Cabras. Kevin Cabras of Belgium has pulled into the pits on the opening lap. My goodness, Kevin Cabras is absolutely enraged as he comes back into pit road, parks the car and walks away. Absolutely extraordinary scenes here. Well, the man who could have been easily on the podium, Kevin Cabras, out of the kart and out of the final. I cannot believe it. So he brought it straight back into the pits. He was not happy at all, the man who started in third place. Yellow flags. We got a spinner on the way to turn 4. So somebody facing the wrong way, and I think that the penny has just dropped that they're not going to be taking the victory. And they climb out of the cart and walk away. Now, that looks like it might be one of the top runners again as well. This final is absolutely electric already. So out in front, Jacques Giraud is being caught rapidly here by Chris Demetriou. Up on the inside of the hairpin, that's Gonzalo Lopez and Kevin Thouvenin, both making up some overtaking moves as they try and charge their way forward. Sidotti's battling away there with Mathis Renet. So we're waiting to see what the order is as they come through at the end of the second lap. It's Giraud in front of Demetriou, then Nito, Palermo, Urbani, Höller, Lopez, Thouvenin, Sidotti and Mathis Renet. And there's already a penalty. It's for Vinny Beltramelli. So Vinny Beltramelli has got a penalty and dropped to the back. And it's Vadim Molinov that retired from the race. The Georgian Vadim Molinov. He was the one who spun out on the way to turn 4 and walked away from his kart. Frustrated and furious, I'm sure. But it's game over then for Vadim Molinov, the Georgian, just as it was for Kevin Cabras a short while ago. And Kevin has already walked back to the pits, I believe. So now, up over the top of the crest comes Jacques Giraud, and he's being chased down rapidly by Chris Dimitriou. The Cypriot really wants to take a victory. He got pole position in qualifying for the endurance. Now he wants to make it happen in the final of the SK1s. Here he goes, in behind Jacques Giraud. But he wants a fairly even race here. He doesn't want to take too much ground. He is going to be pushing all the way behind the Frenchman, Jacques Giraud. In this competition in the past, we've had a German take the victory. We've had a Frenchman take the victory. But we have never once... we've had a German take the victory. We've had a Belgian take the victory. Sorry, Antoine. But we have not yet had a victor from the top of the tree to be either French or Cypriot. So this could be a big moment for either driver. And of course, in third place is another nation that's never taken the win yet. And that is Salvatore Nito. So we've had a German winner, a Belgian winner, but we have not had a Frenchman, a Cypriot, or an Italian take the title. And that's what we've got in the top three right at the moment, because it's Jacques Giraud in front of Chris Dimitriou, and then in third place it is Salvatore Nito. So we are on the fourth lap, the fastest lap of the race so far, Lucas Urbani. And with two retirements already from this race, Kevin Capras and Vadim Moldanov. It's going to be a fascinating duel from the front end. Chris Dimitriou is pushing, trying to get his way onto the back of Jacques Giraud, who is already defending. Giraud defending his line halfway round lap 4. So Jacques Giraud knows that he's going to have a real pressure cooker building here from Chris Dimitriou, the Cypriot. Salvatore Nito in third, then it is Lucas Urbani in front of Gonzalo Lopez. Well, we've got a great challenge here, because we've got Lucas Urbani ahead of Mauro Palermo and Dennis Höller, and then Gonzalo Lopez. Next up behind is Kevin Touvenin, and then Orlando Sidotti in front of Mathis Renet, Francisco Alfaro, Tom Delfos, Delano Deckers, and Louis Harvey, who's come up from 27th to P14. What a charge already. So he's already knocking on the door of the top 10, and this is only lap number 5. So with 14 laps left of this race, the entire length of the junior final, by the way, he has got a very good chance here of moving his way further forward. And looking at his lap times, he's almost a second quicker than anybody around him right now. So this is going to be fascinating. But Chris Dimitriou, the Cypriot, in second position, all over the back of Jacques Giraud. And in third place, we've got a real bubble building. Salvatore Nito and Lucas Urbani are closing in. The more these guys battle, of course, the more it opens the deck for anybody else. Bit of a puff of smoke there as through the dust goes Kevin Touvenin. But Chris Dimitriou trying to pull away with Jacques Giraud, but Nito and Urbani are closing up. Then it is Dennis Höller in fifth position in front of Mauro Palermo. Then Lopez, Touvenin, Sidotti, Renet, Alfaro, Delfos, Deckers, Harvey and Cancarini. Pushing through on the far side of the pits. We've got some really good battles going, and here comes Chris Dimitriou, never been closer to the leader. Jacques Giraud, he's going to lose ground as Dimitriou hits the front. Dimitriou takes the lead for Cyprus. So the Cypriot, Chris Dimitriou, has got into the lead of the final, and this is only lap 6. So there's still plenty of time for things to change. As back to the inside goes Jacques Giraud. Oh, through the banking. He has got back into the lead. So the two leaders are now swapping positions. And apparently Chris Dimitriou is under investigation. For what? But this could change the race completely. Chris Dimitriou currently under investigation. Squabbling for the lead with Jacques Giraud. He's down to 4th position. So something's gone wrong for Dimitriou as Salvatore Nito now creeps in behind Jacques Giraud. He won the endurance yesterday. Can he win the final today? Salvatore Nito going well as one of the top drivers in the expert category. What an opportunity this is now, as the drivers are really giving us a great race of it up at the front end. The leading master is Jacques Giraud. The leading expert is Salvatore Nito. The leading senior is now Lucas Urbani. And the leading young driver is Mauro Palermo. 4 classes within the race, don't forget. So they all want to be the winning master, the winning expert, the winning senior, and the winning young driver. As through goes Salvatore Nito. Nito takes the lead. 3 different leaders in this race already. And we haven't even reached half distance. Dimitriou has led, Giraud has led, and now Salvatore Nito leads the way. A fantastic scrap in the TB Kart final. They will go under the bridge. And as they continue to make progress, we've got Urbani in third, Dimitriou fourth, Hiller is in fifth place, in front of Palermo, Lopez, Duvanen, Sidito, and then it is Alfaro and Louis Harvey, 11th position. He is absolutely charging through this field now. Here comes Lucas Urbani, right in behind Jacques Jorot. But Salvatore Nito is the leader, and there goes Mauro Palermo, diving in on Dennis Hiller. So the advantage and get up the inside. And that's Mauro Palermo. Dennis Holler is not happy about it, but Mauro Palermo, the youngster, gets into P5, and that leads the quartet up front very much on their own. So Nito, Urbani, Jorot and Dimitriou, they are in the top 4 positions at the moment. Then it's Palermo, Hiller, Tuvanen, Lopez, Sidotto, Alfaro, Harvey, Del Fos, Deckers, Renette and Cancarini. The top 15 are so even, and up the inside that is a 4th different leader as Lucas Urbani has now taken the lead. Goodness me, we haven't even reached half distance in this race. Now we've had 4 different leaders. Dimitriou, Jorot, Nito, and now Lucas Urbani. This race is going to be amazing to the flag. 4 different drivers have held the lead at some stage, and so this is going to be a nail-biter. All 4 drivers are still in the top 4. Urbani leads Jorot, Nito and Dimitriou. And then it is Palermo, Hiller. 7th place is Tuvanen. Then it is Gonzalo Lopez from Sidotti. And in 10th position, that is Francisco Alfaro. But Louis Harvey is trying to work his way forward. He's lost ground there. And so the competitors are still making a good work of it. Don't forget that there is a penalty in amongst all that. A 5-second penalty has already been handed to Vinny Beltramelli. So Beltramelli is in about 9th on the road, I think. But his penalty drops him out of the top 10 for the moment. So Lucas Urbani is now your race leader. And now we've got another investigation, and it's Salvatore Nito. Salvatore Nito now under investigation. Goodness me, both Chris Dimitriou and Salvatore Nito are being investigated in the top 4. So this race could go a very dramatic way. Lucas Urbani, the Frenchman on home soil, wanting to take a home victory. Nobody in the history of this event has ever won on home soil before, because we've had Dennis Hiller win in 2023, the German, and the 2024 race won by Antoine Moulet. Both of those races, of course, were held in Italy. So never before has a driver won this event on home soil. But Lucas Urbani is doing great here in front of Jacques Jorot, then Salvatore Nito and Chris Dimitriou, the 2 drivers that are currently under investigation. They bounce off the curb with a hairpin. Palermo now in front of Tuvanen. Dennis Hiller in 7th position in front of Gonzalo Lopez and Orlando Sidotti. Then it's technically Vinny Beltramelli, but he's got a penalty, so that's going to drop him down the order. And that's going to put Alfaro into 10th, Louis Harvey into 11th in front of Del Fos, then Deckers, Matis Renette, and then it is Beltramelli ahead of Ferreras, Ligori, Cancarini, Bucci, Macagni, Vanacci, Ian Anderson, who's doing a great job in the expert category, and then Olivier Laurent in front of Bruno Thurman, Michael Dimitriou, and Pierre Cageux. What an impeccable race this is already, as we have just gone past half distance. 9 laps done and 9 laps to go, and there are 4 drivers firmly in the hunt for the victory. But it's not over yet. There are so many drivers piling up behind that can really take a piece of this, as Lucas Urbani goes on to qualifying pace. He is trying to charge away from Jacques Jorot. Can Lucas Urbani make up for the frustrating defeat yesterday in the endurance for KMRS Racing by coming through and taking the victory in the TB Kart Finals 2025? Big dive on the inside from Alfaro. Alfaro will make the move on the inside of Vinny Beltramelli, and Louis Harvey will get out the inside of both of them. So Louis Harvey trying to hold his nerve here, and he's almost losing ground to Tom Del Fos. He's got to be careful. But it's nicely done so far, as up at the front end of the field, 4 drivers are still pushing for the victory. And now Chris Dimitriou has got ahead of Salvatore Nito as they battle away for 3rd position. Both drivers under investigation, but the leaders are pulling clear. Oh, and a big dive from Mauro Palermo, who goes wheel to wheel with Kevin Duvanen out of turn 3. Palermo getting a little bit eager. His youth is definitely overtaking an exuberance the experience of the drivers around him. but this is going to be tough, very tough. Can Lucas Urbani be beaten out front? He's starting to pull clear of Jacques Giraud. They go underneath the flyover once again, and this is absolutely what Lucas Urbani wanted. He's starting to stretch his legs in the lead. Jacques Giraud in second, can't stay with him. And look at Nito and Demetriou. They are losing ground big time to Tuvenin, Palermo, Hurla, Lopez and Sidotti. And now in 10th position, that is Alfaro in front of Harvey. Beltramelli's trying to win. And Louis Harvey's going to lose a place here, but he's going to stay to the inside line of Vinny Beltramelli to finish the move in the chicane. But now it's looking very difficult for anyone to take on Lucas Urbani, the fourth different winner of this race, the fourth different leader, as now Dario Ferreras is under investigation. He is running currently up in 15th position, so I'm not sure what's going on with the Ferreras, but Dario Ferreras, the latest driver who's under investigation. A lot of investigations in this race without actually giving anybody any penalties. But it's still one-way traffic for France as Lucas Urbani leads his countryman, the hard-charging Jacques Giraud, who is doing a grand job in second place. But Lucas Urbani really has got himself a good car, and he's stretching away. This is what Lucas Urbani wanted on home soil. He knows the track, he knows his mind, he knows these karts now, and this is him settling into a rhythm if he can keep it going. Giraud in second, third is Salvatore Nito, fourth place is Demetriou from Tuvenin, Palermo, Lopez, Hurla and Sidotti. Still good battles all the way through as the drivers are trying to get a little bit more out of it. Louis Harvey gets the move on the inside of Beltramelli. So he gets in front of him on the road as well as in the timing sheets, and he needed to because Delano Deckers is closing up on him. So he needed to take full advantage of the opportunity here. We've got 6 laps to go, 12 laps completed as Lucas Urbani has the fastest lap of the race, a 1:15.219. He's put that qualifying style pace to get ahead of the rest of his opponents. And this is Lucas Urbani starting to settle into the rhythm up front. But Jacques Giraud will not give up, nor will Salvatore Nito or Chris Demetriou. But it looks as though it could be 2 Frenchmen minimum on the podium here with Nito and Chris Demetriou. Dario Ferreras has a penalty. Ferreras has a 10-second penalty, and that is for 2 modes of contact. So 10 seconds then added to Dario Ferreras' time. He was in 15th, so that's going to drop him to the tail of the field. Lucas Urbani, a good run in front of Giraud. Demetriou right in behind the third place man Salvatore Nito. 5th place for Kevin Tuvenin. And then in 6th place it is Mauro Palermo, the Italian, who looks good to be the leading young driver at the end of this competition. And Orlando Sidotti is now under investigation. So Sidotti inside the top 10, now running the wrath of the stewards if he's not careful. So this could be quite a tall order. Good battles as they run through on the far side. Salvatore Nito under pressure in 3rd position here as both Chris Demetriou and Kevin Tuvenin are reeling him in here. 3rd position is still up for grabs. But Salvatore Nito does not have this all his own way at all. Demetriou is there with Kevin Tuvenin trying to work his way to 3rd position. Maybe they can make this an all-French whitewash, but it is going to be tricky because Tuvenin has got to get past first Demetriou and then the man in 3rd, Salvatore Nito. But Lucas Urbani is doing exactly what he was hoping to. He had to cope with 2nd place in the endurance yesterday. Now he is getting it done in the final here, and a fantastic drive it is on lap 14 out of 18. Nito makes the mistake in the chicane. That's going to be a chance for Demetriou. Demetriou's going to try and make his move there in the hairpin. He thinks better of it. So it's going to be a very strong run as they continue. But it's looking good for Lucas Urbani in front of Jacques Giraud. As still the battles rage on, and the intensity and the tempo is still high fever. Lucas Urbani leads Jacques Giraud, Nito, Demetriou, Tuvenin, Palermo, Hurla and Lopez. Although Sidotti is under investigation, and Dario Ferreras is currently suffering a 10-second penalty. That's dropping him a long way down the field. But Lucas Albani is having the perfect race out front. He is just disappearing as Michael Demetriou, I think that is, has had an issue on that lap, and that drops him all the way down the order. So Michael Demetriou, sadly, is now down in 26th position. However, Chris Demetriou is still knocking on the door of a potential podium finish here. So it could go all the way. Chicane for Lucas Albani on lap 15 out of 18. This is a masterclass drive from Lucas Albani as everybody else now realizes that this might not be their day. Lucas Albani having a good run here in front of the man in second place, Jacques Jorot, then Nito, then Touvenin. Kevin Touvenin has got into fourth position. So Kevin Touvenin now breaks through into P4. And if he can get ahead of Salvatore Nito, then it's going to be a French podium here, 1, 2, and 3. So Kevin Touvenin is stepping up the attack and going after Salvatore Nito. He's only 3 laps to catch him. But this is going to be a very good mission for them all. And once again, the spirit of competition at the back for Michael Demetriou, still pushing on as he goes past the pits. But out in front, it is all about the man who with the plan. And boy, oh boy, has Lucas Albani driven himself into a race victory here. You can't deny his excellence in this one. He's really put on a good show, delivered when needed to, worked his way casually to the front, put on a good show in terms of his one-lap pace, and has now kept it in the 1:15.3s. Everybody else is starting to lose a few tenths to him per lap now. So this is Lucas Albani's race to lose. But there are still some battles going on. Dennis Huller right in behind Mauro Palermo. So Mauro Palermo currently running in sixth position, behind Demetriou. Trying to move his way further forward, but it doesn't look like he's going to get there. But the challenge is really starting to take hold here for third. Is now just 0.4 of a second behind Salvatore Nito. Nito is beginning to lose time to Touvenin. Touvenin could make this a 1, 2, 3 for the French if he can get ahead of Salvatore Nito in third position. Nito is there, still in third, through the hairpin at turn 3. But the purple suit of Kevin Touvenin could really make this a French domination. 1, 2, and 3 is possible now. And so Kevin Touvenin is doing everything he can to make it happen. Lucas Albani leading the final on the penultimate lap. Jacques Jorot in second. The fastest lap of the race now comes from Chris Demetriou. A 1:15.1. And here is Lucas Albani, a strong advantage. Look at that. He's pulled himself at least 2 seconds now clear of Jacques Jorot. But Kevin Touvenin wants to get on the podium. Here he goes for third position on Salvatore Nito. So Nito's going to have to work hard here to hold on to third position as Kevin Touvenin really is pushing. As Lucas Albani goes into the final lap of the 2025 TB Kart Final. This has been an amazing week for him. He had a very strong run on Friday after a fast qualifying run. He was a race winner. He was consistent in 2 and 3. And ever since then, Lucas Albani focused his attentions on the man. Kevin Touvenin going for Nito, and he's there. Kevin Touvenin gets past Salvatore Nito. It is going to be French 1, 2, and 3. Un, deux, et trois for the French drivers here. Absolutely incredible fight from Kevin Touvenin to catch up to Salvatore Nito on the last lap. So it's going to be a wonderful day for anybody of French persuasion here at Kartland Paris. It's been a wonderful race in TB Kart, the first time that the TB Kart finals have ever been held outside of Italy, as Michael Demetriou gets out of the way of the leaders. He doesn't want to complete another lap, clearly. But Lucas Albani is going to come through. Oh, Nito's back in front of Touvenin. They're going to race to the victory. And there goes Touvenin. He dives in on Nito, and he's through. So out of the final turn, the victory a gagné for Lucas Albani. Oh, and it's a battle out of the final turn. Contact in the final corner. Second place for Jacques Jorot. Who's going to be third? It's going to be Chris Demetriou. Chris Demetriou will be third. Oh my goodness, what a chaotic end to the race. As Nito and Nito and Tuvenar ended up colliding in the final chicane, and the man who came through for third position was Chris Demetriou. Absolutely amazing from the Cypriot. It's a 1-2 for the French, but it's Chris Demetriou on the podium in third, ahead of Mauro Palermo. Then Salvatore Nito in fifth, ahead of Dennis Huller, Orlando Sidotti, Gonzalo Lopez, Tom Delfos, and Kevin Tuvenar. But I've got a feeling there could be a couple of investigations after what happened on the final turn. My goodness me though, what an incredible duel. But nobody can deny the excellence and the sheer perfection up front. Your winner of the TV Kart Finals will come through. There is Salvatore Nito with his damaged Nassau plate. But we've got to wait further back for the victor as he works his way through. An absolutely amazing performance. There is Jacques Giraud waiting for his countrymen, as the victor of the result is Jacques Giraud. Chris Demetriou celebrates third position. Excellent display from the Cypriot. Second place for Jacques Giraud. But the victor of it all, your champion, is Lucas Albani.